Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for gathering us all today in this important endeavor. We ask that you bestow your guidance and blessing upon each attendee. May we honor one another by keeping an open mind. May we voice our truth and listen with an open heart. Bless everyone present today, that each may be able to share his or her contributions and gifts. Grant good health and safety to loved ones left outside this room, and bestow peace and goodwill to all of us. We ask for your wisdom and grace to use our talents for the betterment of others. May the various activities related to this day be a success through your intervention. With gratitude, we offer this prayer in your name. Amen.
Labs, educational consultancy and research services, where innovation meets education and advocacy drives transformation. Founded in 2020, Star Labs emerged in response to a world adjusting to rapid educational shifts. At the height of the pandemic, while classrooms closed, learning continued online. We offered personalized tutorial and research services, guiding both students and professionals through the complexities of online learning and academic work. As the world reopened, so did opportunities. Star Labs expanded its reach by conducting nationwide on-site training for both private institutions and government organizations. From mental health and industrial psychology to leadership and other specialized topics, we brought meaningful learning experiences to life. Today, Star Labs continues to grow through Star Labs Academy, offering free short courses, professional webinars, and empowering volunteering programs. As an accredited enrollment coordinator of the University of Perpetual Help System, DOLTA, we also provide graduate and postgraduate education opportunities, strengthening our consultancy services for future leaders and professionals. Our flagship volunteering program, the Mental Health Advocacy Volunteer, or MHAV program, prepares young professionals to become certified community mental health coaches. Guided by Republic Act 11036, or the Mental Health Law of the Philippines. Our coaches will be trained to facilitate the implementation of mental health initiatives through the community-driven development approach. And for research services, Star Labs provides end-to-end academic support, quantitative and qualitative data analysis, instrument development and validation, grammar certification, consultation and revisions, and tailored services for individuals and groups alike. Behind every initiative is a vision led by our founder, Mr. Isri Koda Jr., a registered psychometrician, certified human resource associate, certified TEFL teacher, published author, and a proud member of the Psychological Association of the Philippines. With 5 years of service and impact, Star Labs remains committed to its mission, bridging knowledge, building capacity, and empowering communities through education, research, and mental health advocacy. Let us hear some feedback from our previous training participants.
Good afternoon. My name is Goldie Jane L. Narciso. I'm from the Municipal Budget Office. So, a lecture about gaps and differences in generations at the workplace. Dako kay kung nakatunan in understanding my office mates. So, being the only millennial among my office mates who are all baby boomers, so that's helped me understand their working behaviors, their personality, and being one of the in higher position na mas bata ko sa ilaha, dako ka siyang tabang in handling them sa pagtrabaho.
Good afternoon, I am Jane Yanong Mante from MASO. Regarding the topic on the personality development, it means it encompasses the dynamic construction and the construction of integrative characteristics that distinguish an individual in terms of interpersonal behavioral traits. Indeed, personality development is ever changing and subject to contextual factors and life-altering experiences.
Star Labs Educational Consultancy and Research Services. Inspiring change, one mind at a time.
Webinar House Rules. For Facebook Live participants, 1. Attendance monitoring via comment section. Participants are required to register their attendance through the Facebook Live comment section. Attendance instructions will be posted by the facilitator during the session. 2. Official attendance format. To validate attendance, participants must comment using the required format that will be provided during the webinar. Incorrect or incomplete formats may not be counted for attendance and certification purposes. 3. Active participation requirement. Participants are expected to actively participate throughout the webinar by responding to facilitator prompts, reflection questions, polls, activities, and discussion questions from the resource speaker. 4. Engagement during the webinar. Participants are encouraged to react to the live stream, share insights in the comment section, answer questions during discussions, participate in interactive activities, share the live stream to support mental health awareness advocacy. 5. Stay until the end of the session. Participants are encouraged to remain in the live stream until the closing ceremonies to fully benefit from the discussion and announcements. 6. Respectful online conduct. Maintain professionalism and respect in the comment section. Offensive, discriminatory, spam, or inappropriate comments will not be tolerated. 7. Questions for the resource speaker. Participants may raise questions during the open forum by commenting respectfully and clearly in the live stream comment section. 8. Certificate processing. Only participants who comply with attendance and participation requirements shall be eligible for certificate processing, subject to the webinar guidelines of the MHAV program. 9. Technical reminders. Ensure a stable internet connection and regularly refresh the live stream if experiencing delays or interruptions. 10. Support the advocacy. Participants are encouraged to invite friends, classmates, colleagues, and organizations to join the live stream in support of accessible mental health education and advocacy. Mental health is more than a personal concern, it is part of global development. This mental health training webinar supports several United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, especially Sustainable Development Goal number 3, good health and well-being, by promoting mental health awareness, psychological first aid, and accessible support systems. The training also aligns with Sustainable Development Goal number 4, quality education through discussions on mental health in schools, Sustainable Development Goal number 10, reduced inequalities by promoting culturally sensitive mental health services, and Sustainable Development Goal number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions through awareness of mental health laws and rights. Most importantly, this webinar brings professionals, educators, and advocates together in support of Sustainable Development Goal number 17, partnerships for the goals, working collectively toward a more inclusive and mentally healthy Philippines.
Happy at healthy na buhay sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita sa akin sa inyong pagtitipon ngayong araw. At maraming salamat rin sa pagpapatuloy ninyo sa ating advokasya para sa mental health. It's great that we are still having these conversations today. Totoo na marami na tayong naipanalo sa paglaban natin para sa mental health, pero totoo rin na marami pa sa ating mga kababayan, lalo na ang mga kabataan, ang nangangailangan pa rin ng tulong at suporta. Ang mental health ay hindi lang tungkol sa personal na pasanin ng mga individual. Mental health struggles are a burden shared by families and entire communities that still do not have sufficient access to quality care. We have known this for so long, kaya nga proud ako na inakda ko at ipinasa natin ang Mental Health Act. This landmark law finally provided a framework and funding for mental health services across the country. Sa trabaho ko sa Senado ngayong 20th Congress, bilang chairperson ng Senate Committee on Health and Demography, magpapatuloy ang aking pagsulong ng mga batas para alagaan at protektahan ang mental health ng ating mga kababayan. Kabilang dito ang State and Local Universities and Colleges Mental Health Services Act na layong palakasin pa ang access sa mental health services, lalo na't parami ng parami ang mga learners natin na humaharap sa mental health issues. Ito ay mahalagang simula, kaya mas lalong kailangang tayong kumilos para magtuloy-tuloy ang pagbabago sa estado ng mental health sa ating bansa. Ang mental health medication at services ay kailangang mabigyan ng subsidy. Ang local mental health facilities dapat i-upgrade para matugunan ang pangangailangan ng mga komunidad. Beyond being a public health issue, mental health is also a social issue. Kasabay ng pagtulak natin ng mga reforma sa ating healthcare system, kailangan din natin kumilos para sa pagsupil sa korupsyon, kahirapan at gutom. Mahirap pa ang laban, pero hindi naman ibig sabihin na hindi na tayo magpapahinga. Rest is still productive. It's very much part of taking care of our mental health. Let us show ourselves and each other compassion. Ugaliin nating maglaan ng oras para sa pagpapahinga, para mas marami tayong lakas para lumaban. Again, mental health is about all of us, so we need everyone in this movement. We are already a formidable force composed of activists, healthcare professionals, patients groups, and youth leaders. Tiwala ako na mas lalakas pa tayo kung magdadagdagan ang ating hanay. I hope your gathering strengthens your resolve to push for systems that truly work and care for our people. May it inspire tangible actions that continue well beyond today's event. Thank you for standing with us in advancing mental health as a human right. Maraming salamat, and I wish you a meaningful and impactful day. Mabuhay!
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Star Labs Academy and the Mental Health Advocacy Volunteer or the MAF program, I would like to warmly welcome all our participants, guests, mental health advocates, students, professionals, and community members joining us this evening for another session of the second MAF program, National Mental Health Free Webinar Series. We are grateful for your presence and your commitment to learning more about mental health and psychological well-being. Your participation reflects a growing recognition that mental health is not only a personal concern, but also a shared responsibility within our families, workplaces, schools, and communities. As we continue our advocacy of promoting mental health awareness and evidence-based practices, tonight's session addresses a timely and relevant issue that affects many individuals and organizations. Burnout has become an increasingly common challenge in today's fast-paced and demanding environments, impacting not only productivity but also overall well-being and quality of life. This evening, we will explore how organizations can move beyond merely recognizing burnout and begin implementing sustainable mental health solutions through practical, solution-focused approaches and other related approaches. We hope that the insights shared during this webinar will inspire meaningful conversations, inform decision making, and positive actions that support healthier and more resilient workplaces. Before we formally begin, we would like to remind everybody to stay engaged throughout the session. Prepare your questions for our open forum later and take this opportunity to learn from the valuable discussions that await us. Thank you once again for joining us tonight. We are honored to have you with us as we continue to champion mental health awareness, advocacy, and action. To formally commence our program, I would like to formally ask our participants for tonight the same question that I have been asking over and over again since the May 7, the first session, until the fourth session of this National Mental Health Free Webinar Series. Kumusta kayong lahat ngayong gabi? Kamusta ho ang ating mga well-being dyan? Kamusta ho ang ating buhay? Kamusta ho ang ating love life? Kumusta ho ang ating pakiramdam? Kumusta ho ang ating mga pamilya? Kumusta ho ang ating mental health in general? Kung hindi ho mahirap sa atin na i-comment ang ating adjective, no, that's the challenge. Describe your day in just one adjective. Ang sabi ni Sir Bonifacio ay burnout sa kaganapan sa Senate. Well, ang ginagawa ko, sir, ay ina-unfollow ko yung mga news. Yung mga news pages para walang mag-pop up. Ina-hide ko yung mga updates doon sa Senate para hindi ho ako ma-stress, no? Ang nire-retain ko lang ay yung mga hindi stressful na mga update doon sa social media. Sabi naman ni Ma'am Dale, Sir Dale De Los Santos, surviving. Sabi naman ni Ma'am Jem Ramos, ayan, we have in here, no? Ito. Sabi ni Sir Christian Asutilio, patuloy na lumalaban at nagpapatuloy. Alright, that's beautiful, sir, no? Sabi naman ni Ma'am Nina Isabel, drained umano si Ma'am. I hope that you are finding the right coping mechanisms, Ma'am Nina Isabel, no? I hope that you can cope up with your situation right now. Sabi naman ni Ma'am Jem Ramos, stressful. I'm sorry, Sir Jem. Miss Jem, tama, Miss Jem Ramos. Sabi naman ni Ma'am Rina Angela Peñales, chill lang si Ma'am, no? Mabuti pa si Ma'am Rina Angela, no? Well, anyway, whether we like it or not, no? Things like this happen in our world, and ang importante, tayo ang may control sa ating reactions on what we encounter every day. I hope that everybody could also take control of how they react to certain situations nowadays. Sabi naman ni Ma'am Adele Aida Manglalan, good evening po, tired but coping. Marami ho tayong pagod siguro, no? And I think this platform also, I hope this platform do not stress you more, but gives the time for you to vent out, no? The stressful situations you have encountered sa buong linggo, no? Actually, it's just Thursday pa lang, no? Thursday pa lang, pero parang Friday na. Doon sa may mga pumapasok na may 4-day work week, no? Or compressed work week scheme, tomorrow ay Friday, so wala na ho silang pasok. But doon sa whole week yung pasok, sana ay patuloy kayong lumaban hanggang Sabado. Alright. Sabi ni Ma'am Sofia Marcelo, lumalaban. Sabi naman ni Miss Francine Janessa Mitra, drained pero striving po. Medyo pagod lang and sleep deprived dahil kakatapos lang ng final season. Well, congratulations in advance, Miss Francine, for the results of your final examination. Sabi naman ni Sir or Ma'am Ronnie Peñafrel, kinakaya, kakayanin. Next is we have from sabi ni Ma'am Andrea Papillares, good evening po, Katrina Andrea Papillares Palolete. Sabi naman ni Ma'am Yang, eto, patuloy na lumalaban sa buhay, sir. Hirap man, pero kakayanin. No? Ang sabi naman ni Ma'am Maria Teresa Lee ay somewhat productive. Eto, fighting sa life kahit mahirap. Ang sabi naman ni Ma'am Hanifa Abdul Malik ay pressured. And I hope also, Ma'am, that you are coping positively with what you are going through right now. Sabi naman ni Ma'am Maria Carolina Lee Nuneza from Tagum City, lumalaban sa buhay. Sabi ni Miss Irene, blessed. No, blessed siya. Pati yung pangalan niya sa Facebook ay ayoko na. No? Sabi naman ni Ma'am Risha Lepasana, ayan, introduction lang pala, no? Sabi ni Ma'am Riz Maria of Kilia, introduction din, no? Kakapasok lang siguro. Sabi ni Miss Lou Mandalupi, always hopeful because God is faithful. I think that sums up all that we feel this evening, and I hope that I'm not advocating for false positivity, but I sincerely hope that we are on the right track. We are coping positively with what we are going through right now, especially with the stress in our national government right now. But I think it's part of life. And we cannot control all of what is happening around us. But what we can control is how we are going to react with those things. And if hindi ho mahirap sa atin, our live stream right now ay nasa 65 yung ating viewers. Well, this is also one of the most viewed live webinars we have for this series, for this batch. I would like to ask everybody to please share this live webinar para marami din yung maaabot, no, ng ating live webinar for today. Because we only have like 23 shares for this live webinar. And since we are 68 already in the live stream, I hope that we could also see 68 shares dito sa ating live webinars ngayon. So I hope that may share din natin, no, sa iba yung ating live session. Alright, without further ado, allow me to introduce our resource person for this evening, because as much as everybody, no, like everybody in this live feed right now, ako din ay excited kung ano ang magiging discussion natin for tonight. Because our resource person is a registered psychologist, a registered psychometrician, and a certified, nakalimutan ko ho yung CSFP, certified, I'm sorry, kasi ang dami ho kasing certification. Eto, CSFP is certified. Ayan, baka pwede niyo ho akong tulungan. CSFP is, ano nga ulit yung CSFP? I'm sorry, certified ayun, parang may nag-comment na, no? This is about forensic, no? The forensic certification in forensic psychology. CSFP. All right. Certified CFP po ito, no? Wala talagang nag-comment. Tatanungin na lang natin si Ma'am. Ayan. Certified Forensic Psychologist, no? CSFP ho kasi ito, no? Sige. Kung sino ho yung makapagbibigay. I'm very sorry, no? I'm not really familiar with every certification being offered, but I think we'll have to ask our resource person later, no? But as we go along, allow me to continue the introduction of our resource person for tonight. Well, she is also an assistant professor too at Central Philippine University. Our resource person for tonight has a strong expertise in therapy. Ayun, no? May sagot si Sir Toby. I'm sorry, I have to read this. Certified Solution Focused Practitioner, CSFP. Ayan, we'll have to ask our resource person later. Certified Solution Focused Practitioner. Thank you so much. Now, I think this is the correct, yes, the correct word, no, for this abbreviation, words for this abbreviation. Ayun, no? She has a strong expertise in psychotherapy, forensic psychology, and mental health program delivery. She currently balances clinical practice and teaching, handling core psychology and research courses while providing individual psychotherapy grounded in evidence-based and solution-focused approaches. Her clinical work includes case conceptualization, crisis triage, and intervention for concerns such as anxiety, stress, burnout, and relational difficulties. Her professional experience extends across academic, clinical, and organizational settings. As a well-being specialist and practicing psychologist, she facilitates individual and group counseling sessions, delivers mental health training, and contributes to organizational wellness programs. She also brings experience in forensic psychology and culturally responsive practice, ensuring that interventions are tailored to Filipino clients and diverse populations, including uh, those in complex or high risk situations. In the academe, our resource person has played key roles in research supervision, curriculum delivery, and program coordination, guiding students in both quantitative and qualitative research while upholding strong ethical and psychometric standards. Her background as a summa cum laude graduate and award-winning researcher further reflects her commitment to scientific rigor and applied mental health practices. So, as a part of the math program batch 2, she brings a clinically grounded and research informed perspective, integrating psychotherapy, education, and community based mental health interventions to support both individual and organizational well being. Without further ado, allow me to welcome on stage. She is already with us tonight, ang napakaganda, ang napaka-dynamic, at napakamabait, kilalang psychologist from Iloilo City, none other than Ma'am Erla Grace L. Agutaya. Hello, ma'am.
Hello po, good evening.
Hello. Say hi to our live audience for today, ma'am.
Hello po mga live audience viewers. So I'm glad that you're here. So I've also seen some of my former students who are also here with us. No? So hi, shout out to sa inyo.
Ayun, and we are glad, ma'am, no? I think humatak ho ng maraming participants ang ating live webinar for today because, no, of your influence doon sa inyong mga estudyante, ma'am. And of course, all the people that you have met in your life. Now, I will not hold you for this, for this greetings, no? Ano bang tawag doon? Common, may tawag dun, ma'am, eh. May term dun, eh. Na parang kapag sikat ka, yung parang may session na tinatawag dun na you will, ano yun, come and greet ba yun? Or meet and greet, I'm sorry. Ayun, meet and greet session, no? Without further ado, the floor is yours, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. So, thank you so much, Sir Ezri, no? So, hi. So, welcome po sa ating talk about burnout awareness, no? And of course, like this talk is just more than just awareness of what is burnout, but more on solution building. Like what can we do in order for us to work on with the burnout that we have. So I know this topic is very relatable kasi lahat tayo nakaka-experience ng burnout. So this topic is really relevant in my life kasi like in my 10 years of work sa academe. So 10 years since I was nag-graduate ako ng college, nasa academe na ako. So talagang a decade of experience and also burnout din yung dala-dala ko, no? So I hope that wherever you are in the world or in the virtual space ay makinig po kayo and hopefully you can get some bits and pieces of lessons from this talk natin, no? So the title is of course from burnout awareness to sustainable mental health solutions in the organization. So what's different with this talk, it's more on the solution focused approach and the application of it. So yeah, so let's go. So of course, workplace well-being in the Philippine context, no? This is according to Mactal et al. In their book, no? So mental health is now a topic of interest among practitioners and researchers in various fields around the world. So yung sa Philippines, yung statistics natin when it comes to workplace well-being is really more focused on the physical health and safety. So in 2017, nakita natin na may 46,283 cases of occupational injury sa manufacturing industry yan, and 101,851 cases of occupational diseases caused by exposure over a period of time to various work-related risk factors. So, yung mga common na complaints usually when it comes to mga diseases or occupational diseases ay mga physical like back pain, headaches, hypertension, and neck and shoulder pain. But of course, we all know that those pain may somehow may root din psychologically. But the good news is that there has been a decrease from the previous years, meaning there is like an increased awareness na talaga sa organizations about the physical health and safety of the employees in the workplace. So, why does well-being matter in the workplace, no? So, imagine niyo, 1/3 ng day natin nasa office. How much more pa kung compressed work week kayo? So, almost half ng day nyo, andun lang kayo sa office. So, I've heard mga friends, clients, nagsasabi sila na minsan yung work day nila nagsa-start pa lang the moment na lumabas sila ng bahay to commute hanggang mag-e-end lang 'to 'pag nakauwi na sila ng bahay. So, the commute is also part of their workday. So, just imagine that, no? So, they spend 1/3 of their day in their office, and stressful work conditions or experiences have an impact talaga sa physical and mental health ng tao, no? Or ng employee. So, yung poor well-being is of course not only impact yung individual but also affect other people. So very systemic siya. So hindi lang siya pag isa sa ating workplace or workmates yung nagkasakit, 'di ba? In a way, yung work na hindi niya magawa ay mapapasa sa atin. So it will really affect other people, and it would also affect yung team emotions, yung added workload, no? So, poor well-being can also lead to lower employee productivity, absenteeism, turnover costs and healthcare costs. So, yun nga, like in very high stakes, high pressure na mga industries, no? So, very, ano talaga, very high yung turnover rate. So, parang kada month, nag-iiba ng tao, they have to train. So, training costs money, di ba? Pag nagkasakit yung tao nila, di ba? Kung sino yung um, magbabayad or mag-shoulder ng kanyang mga hospital bills, it also costs the company. So there is always a positive correlation between subjective employee well-being and organization's performance. So in here, you can see that as employee well-being increases, performance of the organization improves. So yun nga, 'di ba? Like if individually okay tayo sa ating workplace, no, mag-i-increase yung ating work output, yung na-enjoy natin yung ginagawa natin sa work, we're looking forward to going there. And of course, once we look forward and doing our best in our work, so yung of course yung productivity ng company, yung profits, it will also improve the organization. So, again, why does it matter? So, first is yung RA 11058. So, this is an act strengthening the compliance with occupational safety and health standards and providing penalties for violations thereof. So, yung dito, yung ine-emphasize nila na kailangan ng employers mag-provide ng safe working conditions. Hindi lang siya physically, but also psychologically din. So, proper protective equipment for workers, training, and training on occupational health and safety. So, I think may mga certified na mga occupational health na mga specialist hopefully sa kada na workplace, no? So they're in charge there of making sure or ensuring that yung mga tao, your employees sa loob ng company ay physically safe and healthy. So they're also in charge, for example, when magkasakit yung employee, yung nag-take note if ilan yung mga may medical na sicknesses, or even so much so na may mga psychological na mga disorders, no? So sila yung mga nagmo-monitor niyan. So another is why is it matter, no? So is because of the RA 11036 or the Mental Health Act. So yung IRR or the Implementing Rules and Regulation, it mandates the development of policies and programs in the workplace. So hindi lang kumbaga responsibility ng individual yung kanyang mental health, but it is also the responsibility or mandate nga ng organization, okay, to develop mga policies natin regarding mental health, and of course kung anong mga pwede nating ibigay na programs for them to better their well-being in the workplace. So this include, for example, yung raising awareness sa mental health issues, correcting the stigma and discrimination with regards to mental health conditions, identification and support of at-risk individuals, and facilitation of access of individuals with mental health conditions to treatment and psychosocial support. So that's why I've seen siguro in some organizations, like for example in Manila, they already have mga workplace counselors there in their workplaces or organizations, no? Which is like a good progress, kumbaga, like. But dito here sa Iloilo, I think may isa lang na company that has workplace counselors as far as I know, no? So, but hopefully, no, kung may mga leaders dito ng organization, hopefully the outcome is that may isang workplace counselor sa kada workplace, no? Para at least, kumbaga, hindi lang maalagaan yung physical health, di ba? But when people are in distress, no, they can go to a workplace counselor just to for them to be listened to without judgment, no, and without of course reporting to the management, kumbaga. So here we have here DOLE and CSC, okay? They have released also guidelines in developing programs and policies that promote mental health in the workplace. So, may mga policies na talaga, like may mga rules nationally, but sometimes the problem is how the policy really trickles down to the individual na mga organizations. So here our objectives is of course to understand stress and burnout beyond lang yung definitions natin, recognize the limits of problem-focused approaches, introduce solution-focused framework and solution-focused management, and of course, learn how to create sustainable strategies for your organization. So hopefully kung meron ditong mga nasa HR or nasa mga leaders talaga or ng mga owners ng mga businesses, no, hopefully when they listen to this talk, they can share what they can learn about mental health and apply it to their organization or to their teams. Kahit sa team lang nila, no, little by little. So, una natin, so let's define muna what's burnout and stress. No? So, stress is the body's and mind's response to perceived demands or challenges. As you can see here, we have two types of stress. Eustress or acute stress. This is the adaptive one or the healthy stress natin, no? Where we feel na energized, focused, and work feels effortless, kayang-kaya, kumbaga. Meanwhile, yung another type is this one is the maladaptive one or the harmful one. So there is distress already or chronic stress where we feel fatigue, exhaustion, ill health, and worse is yun nga, yung breakdown, no? And burnout. So I've heard kanina nung nagkakamustahan si Sir, no, ng iba sa inyo ay lumalaban, iba drained, distressed, no? But hopefully, you can find a way na mag-go back dun sa middle or balance lang, na yung stress lang talaga. Na okay lang na andun din sa calm, hopefully yung sa green side, but also at the same time, we can go back to the mixed colored na part, no? Na mix of stress and calmness. Sige. So, of course, we have 4 different stress response, no? So, usually, yung nakikita nyo to, yung fight, flight, freeze, and fawn sa mga trauma. But it can also happen in the workplace because stress is like how we respond to like danger, diba? Or certain events that distresses us. So, we have here fight. So, sa fight is like they will say na, I will stand my ground, no? Na or they would try to push back. So yung flight naman is yung tao na kailangan niyang mag-get away from all of this, no? So freeze. They can't move or think clearly. And fawn is I will try to please or try to keep the peace. But I know siguro yung narinig nyo na is the first 3, but the 4th one is the fawn, no? So parang more on people pleasing siya talaga, no? So ewan ko kung I don't know which type of worker are you, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn pag nagsistress, no? But I believe ako like as much as I can, I try to flee or flight, no? Pagkatapos ng yung alam mo na pa-out ka na yung mga 4 o'clock like unti-unti ka na unti-unti ka na close down ng work or slow down ng work kasi alam mo aalis ka na because you need to get away from the stress. But at times, of course, I go fight mode din because there's some things that kailangan mo talagang ipaglaban, no? Yeah, but hopefully, hindi ako, like, I'm not the type of person to, like, freeze or fawn talaga as much as I can. So, fight or flight lang talaga ako. But ewan ko sa inyo, what's your stress response, no? But hopefully, you get something from this one. So, of course, the stressors that are common in modern companies is, as you can see here, cognitive overload, 'di ba? Perfection pressure, no? Dapat ma-hit mo yung mga target na mga yung accuracy, for example, na ganun. Constant deadlines, like kakatapos mo lang ng isa mong work tapos may another ka na naman. Multitasking sometimes, 'di ba? Lalo na pag may nag-absent and you need to cover for that person, multiple roles na, yeah, another is blurred job description. Like, hindi mo alam, like, nagawa mo na yung job mo as for example sa academe, tapos may another role pa na administrative, so like hindi mo na alam kung saan ka, ano ba talaga yung trabaho mo. Global collaboration demands, 'di ba? And the result here is more on mental fatigue rather than physical fatigue, lalo na for yun nga yung mga white collared na mga work, no? Mental fatigue talaga yung na-experience natin, which of course also kumbaga nagtatansen din sa atin na physical fatigue, na 'pag umuwi tayo sa bahay parang gusto na lang natin matulog, or like, wala, pagkakain mo na tapos ano, natulog na or doom scroll ka na lang para lang ma-dissociate mo na lang, quote unquote, dissociate mo yung self mo sa ano mo, sa workplace mo, 'no? So now let's proceed to explaining what is burnout. So burnout is work-related syndrome. Okay, when we say syndrome, it means it's a group of symptoms caused by prolonged stress, long time stress, no? So it has three dimensions. So emotional exhaustion, yung parang ang bigat-bigat sa loob mo, minsan na pumasok. So yun yung isa. Cynicism or detachment. So laging negative yung thoughts mo about the workplace, no? Laging parang sabi mo, another day na naman, I hate this work, something like that. Or detach ka from your work, like I'm just doing it just to get paid, to survive, no? Na parang wala nang meaning yung work mo. And of course, reduced professional efficacy. Like, sinasabi mo ba sa sarili mo na, am I doing good? Am I doing great in my job? Like, minsan naka-question mo yung competency mo, lalo na 'pag, like for example dito sa academe, naka-question mo din yung competency mo, like, am I effective na teacher? Na may natutunan pa ba yung mga students ko? So, when those three dimensions or three symptoms, combine, so nagiging tawag dun ay, burnout, no? So, ano yung mga signs of burnout in the workplace? So sa emotional, as you can see here, feeling irritable. Okay? So like, minsan, like for example na lang sa life ko, na pag minsan meron akong, pag I wake up and go to my class, parang hindi ako makapag-smile sa students ko kasi like feeling ko I woke up in the wrong side of the bed, no? Another is feeling drained talaga, na after classes, for example, like parang feeling ko ayoko nang kumausap ng students kasi naubos na yung energy ko. So another is difficulty concentrating. Like for example, if during meetings hindi ka makapag salita, or hindi mo magawa yung mga admin tasks na kailangan, or mental fog. Yung feeling mo parang ang blurred ng utak mo. You're not thinking clearly, parang ganon. And sa behavioral is of course withdrawal. Like sometimes pag palachika ka sa workplace mo, no, or sa workmates mo, ngayon parang ayaw mo na, wala ka lang ganang makipagchika. Another is reduced motivation. Yun nga, yung lagi kang nag-absent, lagi kang nagpapalit kasi kasi like wala ka nang gana to go to work, no? So these are some signs of burnout, no? So hopefully you recognize them, no, and evaluate din sa sarili niyo na kung meron ba kayong burnout na symptoms, no, and maybe you need something to work on it, no. So of course may cost ang burnout, no, so not just for the individual but also the organization. As you can see here, no, for the individual, burnout takes a toll on the well-being and the quality of life. So una is lower health, no? So my chronic stress leads to physical and mental health problems, fatigue, and poor sleep. And of course, kung lagi kang stress, 'di ba? It may further lead to certain physical diseases, 'di ba? Like hypertension, ano pa ba? Like minsan sa diet din natin, 'di ba, yung mga naapektuhan din. So like parang na-alarm na nga ako na most of like my age die or have chronic kidney diseases or tapos yung iba may mga fatty liver na. So like yung lifestyle natin kumbaga lower health because of course stress factors and burnout. Lower confidence, no? Burnout also lowers our confidence, no? So it contradicts our self-belief na kaya natin, no? And of course, lower satisfaction. So there is lower decline sa pag-enjoy natin, no? And fulfillment ng ating work. So for the organizations naman, so of course, burnout weakens teams, performance, and the results. So first is of course the lower engagement. So disengaged employees are less committed, no? So or motivated. Like for example, minsan pag may pa-program yung company na na-notice nila ay bakit hindi nag-engage or walang kumakagat sa mga programs namin, maybe because they are just tired, no? So they are just tired or they are just burned out and they want to do other things that won't cause them stress rather than complying with what certain programs that the company has. So another is lower retention. Yun nga, yung maraming nagre-resign, no? Because of the high pressure or the high stress and of course lower productivity. So less work is done, no? And kung less work is done, meaning also less profits for the company din, no? So that's why yung burnout, it's not just an individual problem, but it also is an organizational problem din. So but here, parang i-try natin unti-unti i-shift yung mindset natin. Yung problem sa burnout awareness lang, like yung the way I delivered kanina, yung parang lecture lang. The conversation stay problem heavy. We're just focusing on what is wrong. So it focuses on complaints instead of change. And minsan, parang temporary fixes lang, di ba? Like, mga one-time wellness activities, once a year lang, no, na mga activities ng HR or ng company. So there is no systemic or long-term solutions. So let's try to shift our perspective. So let's try to do from problem focus to solution focus. So instead of asking, why are we burned out? Let's try to shift our mindset, no? Like, ano na, what's already working? Okay, na para ma-alleviate yung ating burnout, no? So, yung emphasis dito is not on the difficulties, no? Or what is wrong, but the outcomes. What's the result that we want to accomplish? And instead of problem-solving conversations, we shift our perspective to solution-building dialogue. So now, what is the solution-focused approach? No, so this was developed by Inso Kimberg and Steve DeSager in the late 1970s. No, so yung solution-focused approach is strength-based and future-oriented. So it also builds on existing resources, meaning yung individual or yung organization, meron na silang kanya-kanyang mga strengths and resources to solve their problems, no? It encourages small and achievable changes. Hindi kailangan na bonggang-bonggang miracle yung makikita ninyo, no? But just small, even just a little bit of change in the policy or in the activities that the workers do. The more we do it, no, the more na mas bigger yung impact niya, kumbaga. And it focuses on the desired outcome. So parang yun yung focus ng solution focus na practice, no? So it's not only applicable kumbaga sa therapy session, but ang solution focus na approach can be applied, for example, in coaching, in education. It can also be applied in organizations, no? So and also supervision. So kumbaga it's not just a therapy, but kumbaga sabi nila it's more of a lifestyle or a mindset, yung solution-focused na approach. So, taking solution-focused approach to organizations have several benefits. So, first, it emphasizes respectful relationships dahil it looks at the employee and the boss, for example, as equals, okay, or egalitarian, kumbaga, collaborative. it highlights the importance of conversation and language. Yung the way we say things, yung emphasis niya, the way we say things really affects like how we understand it and the way we process it. No, so that's why the questions matter. Yun yung sa solution focus na natutunan ko, no, so during my training, no, the how we question things matter. No, it leverages on personal strengths and resources, improves problem framing because it does not frame yung problem lang, like parang wall lang siya na ito yung problem, but we look beyond the wall, kumbaga, or beyond the problem. And instigates an optimistic view of the future. So, ano yung mga SF core principles when it's applied to organization? So, first is focus on the outcomes and not the causes. So, when we look into our workplaces, no, or our organizations that we are working, ano ba, what do we prefer na future? Like, what is our organization na walang burnout, na okay yung well-being ng tao? No, what does that look like for you? 'Di ba? So, or what would be different na sa workplace nyo? So, another is, the organization is the expert. So, the organization and the people na nasa organization, they already have resources and strengths. They know best themselves. The organization know best their culture. The organization know best yung profile ng kanilang employees. No, sila yung expert. So another is finding exceptions to the problem. So there are times when, kumbaga, are there times sa inyong organization na when this burnout problem don't emerge or just be manageable, no? Even just a little bit, 'di ba? So ito yung mga words natin, yung little bit, yung manageable, like hindi kailangan na talagang mawala siya totally, but maybe there are times sa ating pagtatabaho na kayang-kaya natin siya, no? Na ano natin, na pag-uwi natin ng bahay, hindi tayo masyadong pagod as before, right? So also small changes create bigger impact. So large-scale transformation is broken into tiny, manageable actions. One small success in one department can ripple through an entire organization, improving morale and momentum. So yun, small, kahit start ka lang sa team mo, no? And once that your team is kumbaga properly managed na, good na ilang well-being, of course other departments will notice that, no, bakit yung ganitong team kayang-kaya nila, ano kaya yung mga best practices nila. So there will be sharing, and of course it would lead into yung tawag natin na ripple effect, kumbaga. So, and of course, if it works, do more of it. So organizations should prioritize identifying and amplifying successful internal practices rather than trying to implement generic outside theories, no? So, yun nga, because the organization is the expert, they know kung ano yung mga programs nila dati that work. So, if they have that mental health program that works, they must do more of that, no? And of course, they should not be afraid of experimenting din, but wag lang tayo kumuha ng parang outside the organization na mga perspectives natin, kasi mas kilala lang organization yung kanilang sarili. So here we look into the solution focused management, no? So this was in a study in Japan. So sa study na to, it showed that solution focused management improves followership. Okay, followership meaning yung sumusunod yung mga ano mo, yung mga subordinates mo. So it had a positive effect on all dimensions of followership behavior. So meaning being active, being considerate, and being critical. No, this means that employees take initiative, they support their leaders, and engage constructively. So kung solution focused yung management mo, ito yung mga outcomes, no? So like mas ma-better mo manage mo yung mga employees mo. So it is stronger than problem-focused communication because si solution-focused communication, it has
stronger impact on active behavior, meaning yung how we initiate and how are we productive, and considerate behavior, being supportive. Because even though problem-focused communication may value siya, pero sometimes it emphasizes more on the errors, no? Yung mga mali natin, like minsan yun na lang yung laging pinopoint sa atin ng mga bosses natin, 'di ba? Like saan tayo nagkamali, 'di ba? Like paano natin i-fix yung pagkakamali natin, instead of what outcome or what solution do we desire, kumbaga. So and it may increase in critical behavior towards the leaders. So, solution-focused communication, it also builds positive emotions, increase self-efficacy in problem solving dahil collaborative siya. So, parang kasi you value also, like if you're the leader, you value also kung ano yung gusto, what does the employee want, no? Or outcomes din na gusto niya. It encourages more solution-oriented thinking loops. So, the result here, the employees become more engaged and proactive. So, in conclusion, for this management na section, no, so organizations should shift daily communication towards solutions and not just the problem. So hindi lang finger pointing, no, blame shifting, but work towards how, okay, how do we go towards that desired outcomes natin. Embed this in everyday interactions, not just formal meetings, and align teams around shared goals. So, in here, no, kung anong difference ng problem-focused the leader sa solution-focused the leader. So, kung problem-focused the leader ka, focuses on past blame and causes, like ano bang cause, bakit ganito yung ating for example, burnout, anong causes ng burnout? And ang dami-daming causes ng burnout, no? So, but if you're a solution-focused leader, you focus on the outcomes or solutions, no? So, what does our organization look like when there's no burnout or less burnout sa ating employees, 'di ba? More positive siya, more outcome based, kumaga. So it also fixes the problem for the employee, no? So compare ko solution focused leader empowers the employee to fix it. So like, okay, work kayo together ni employee in order na go through your desired outcome. So it also asks, why did this happen, 'di ba? So pag nag-ask yung employers, 'di ba, na okay, ba't nangyari to, 'di ba? We tend to be more defensive. We tend to more negative. So instead, kung solution focus, so what do you want instead, no? So instead na, for example, instead na lagi kang pagod or late sa trabaho mo, what do you want instead na mag-happen? So it focuses on, again, the opposite of what you're going through. So outcome based talaga. So it also views mistakes as failures. In here, sa solution-focused na leader, it views mistakes as learning. It's something, okay, so it didn't work. So ano pa yung pwede nating gawin? So meaning, kung hindi to nag-work, kung may mali sa gawa natin, okay, so ano yung gagawin natin next time para mag-improve? So, yun yung hopefully, no, na parang yung outcome or best hopes, kumbaga, na sana yung mga leaders din natin, they would be also solution-focused instead of problem-focused and focus on solving the problem rather than building solutions, no? So, how do we create sustainable mental health solutions in the organization? So, you could always start with your team, no? Sa team nyo lang muna. So, start with what's been good. So, begin conversations or meeting by identifying the positives. Okay? So, it helps reduce defensiveness and emotional tension, diba? It creates a more open and productive discussion for the environment. So, sometimes, like, I ask my clients na instead of kamusta ka? So, like, sinasabi ko sa kanila, okay, what's been better? Okay, what happened that's better or good? So, pwedeng yun yung new way natin of doing rapport or pagbate sa ating mga colleagues. So, what's been good? So, at least parang light, it starts the day light, no? Yun nga, yung open and productive discussion. So it also focuses, another is focus on the desired outcome. So for example, you could ask yourself, no, so if this mental health program goes well or activity natin sa team goes well, what would it look like? No? Anong outcomes yung gusto natin ma-achieve? So it clarifies goals and direction, saan tayo pupunta. And it encourages future-oriented thinking instead of problem fixation. So the third one is start with small steps. Again, once you know kung, 'di ba, once you know kung saan kayong outcome ka, you need to break it down to smaller steps and as to how you can get there. So you can scale, 'di ba? So may ano kami, may tawag doon sa solution focus, scaling question. So for example, kung 10 is like walang burnout sa workplace, 100% walang burnout sa workplace, saan yung ano nyo, saan yung um organization mo ngayon. So, is it a 5? Is it a 6? Like, paano mo nasabi na nasa 5 kayo? And then, okay, start with small steps. So, when you go to one step higher, like a 6, so what would be different, no? Ano yung mga small steps in order for you to get there, to get to a 10? So, ano yung small actions that the organization can take every single day to get to their desired outcomes for their employees' mental health? And of course, you celebrate your small wins, no? So encouragement from the management will drive the team much quicker to their desired outcomes. Feedback to the brain creates positive feeling of safety and will encourage more drive to succeed. So compliments talaga. Like ito din yung ina-emphasize sa solution focused ka practice. Compliments matter. No, so being recognized, just saying na wow, okay, how did you manage to do that? Even indirect compliments, na-observe ko talaga that it really changes the mood of the person that I'm talking to, especially kung burnout siya. Like, how did they manage? So, parang it helps them feel good talaga. So compliments matter po. So number 5 is focus on strengths. So by focusing on strengths, first the team will start to feel empowered and obstacles won't feel like obstacles anymore. So focus on the organization's strengths and ask for help in any weaker points. So kumbaga dun din, going back pa din dun, so what's been good? Ano yung mga resources natin sa organization that we feel na strong tayo dito. So once we focus on that, we should do more, no? And of course, in relation to that is recall past successes. So if your team has a new MH program to work on, take some time to compare it to the past projects that worked well last time. So like, why did it work so well? So how good did that make you feel? And look yung mga past reviews nyo or testimonials sa mga employees na naka-avail ng mental health program na yun, no? So, by doing this, the team will feel more capable and empowered to tackle what is before it now. So, some solution focus your organization can start on, no? So, maybe you could take a screenshot of this and maybe like when you go sa mga team meetings, no, you could start the day with these questions, no, yung like yung panimula na, okay, what's better or what's been good sa ating organization or sa ating team. So pwede yun na panimula, and then you could proceed to this solution focused question. Like first is, if this mental health program or policy was to succeed, what do you imagine the final result will be? Okay? Like, ano yun nga yung laging kong emphasize. Like, okay, ano yung itsura ng workplace natin pag walang burnout? Diba? Pag lahat ng employees natin engage. So, instead of burnout, ano ba yung gusto natin sa employees natin? Ma-feel nila. Like, engaged ba? Productive? Ano? Kayo mag-fill in the blanks, no? So, you know best your organization. So, what would the organization be most proud of if this was to work? Okay? Another is, what skills can the organization draw on to make this work? Okay, so anong meron nating resources, and what would help the organization notice that it is progressing and moving forward? So you can use the scaling, no, from 10 is your desired outcome. I-rate nyo siya, 10 is the desired outcome, 0 is the opposite. Saan kayo ngayon, di ba? How did the organization make that last successful project work so well? Ano ba yung what did they do? How did they manage to do that, no? Ano yung ginawa nila? So, and another is, what do you think is the organization's favorite thing about the project or task? And of course, how would the rest of the team know that you were succeeding? So those are some solution-focused questions that you can start on even just sa team nyo lang muna, no? So, hopefully, again, like I said, small change can do ripple effects, no? So, in closing, no, awareness is just a starting point and not the solution. So, sustainable change happens through intentional actions. And we should move from burnout conversations to solution driven workplace. And organizational changes happen when leaders start thinking for the desired outcome, looking into their strengths, look into what is working, and work on small changes first. So I think that's all muna. So thank you very much for this opportunity to talk about burnout and of course the solution focused na approach, no, and how can we as mental health practitioners or like sa HR or kahit team leaders, no, as team leaders help our organization na reduce yung burnout in one small step at a time. So thank you po.
All right. Thank you so much, our resource person for today, our registered psychologist, a registered psychometrician, and at the same time a certified solution focused practitioner. Yun pala yung CSFP, no, that I forgot kanina. And thank you so much, ma'am, no, for elaborating on this topic, because what I got from this, or what I learned from your talk tonight, is that the only way that we can effectively address burnout in the workplace is through a team effort. Tama ba ako, ma'am? No? Parang, yes, we have, yes, the point is, yes, we have the ability to manage our own thoughts, to control the stressors that we have, to avoid burnout. But if the workplace itself, no, is not supportive of working all of these things, no, or reducing stressful situations, or providing platform that we could combat burnout in the workplace, then ang hirap-hirap, no?
Yes,
Yung
yes.
lumalaban ka, ma'am, na mag-isa. Tama ba?
Yeah. And even sometimes 'pag meron namang mental health support yung organization, but for example, when the policies is still very, parang hindi makatao din yung policies nila when it comes
I
to
see.
your work, 'di ba? Parang naaapektuhan ka din individually. So, like parang wala ding essence or sense yung mga mental health programs 'pag yung policies does not align also with the programs of the workplace.
I agree, ma'am. That is also one thing that I have observed from your talk. You have cited several laws governing occupational safety, how to effectively promulgate, how to effectively implement this, no, in the level of organizations. And I think that is very helpful, not just to our working professionals who are with us today, but also to our students, because they already have an idea right now what the reality after college is. Tama, ma'am, no? So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, yes. I think we'll have to cater questions right now, because I believe that our participants have questions also in their mind. So please feel free to drop your questions if you have, no, so we'll be able to address them We'll select siguro mga 2 or 3 questions because it's already 7:14 in the evening and we'll have to end by 7:30. Ma'am, we have a question from Miss Maria Theresa Lee. I don't know if you know her, but sabi niya, Miss Erla, no, considering that an organization is already experiencing high burnout and low morale, resistance to new initiatives is common. What is a good solution-focused micro step an organization can take to build immediate momentum without overwhelming an already exhausted workforce? Sige, ma'am, I'll give you time
Oh,
to
that's a
ano
good
that
question, no?
question.
Yeah, that's a good question. But just like what I said kanina, di ba? Like, instead of focusing on the new and not yet tested na mga new initiatives, maybe there is sa organization nyo, maybe there is already some na mga things that helps them or that already works, no? So, maybe you could look into that, yung mga past successes ninyo. Maybe you could do more of it, di ba, na mga programs ninyo and, kumbaga, expand more, di ba? Or improve on it more, no? So like, yun nga, like, you know your organization best, kilala niyo yung anong profile ng organization ninyo. So, maybe you could start by, kumbaga, sa ground mismo, asking around yung mga workers, no? Like, what helps them? What helps them na manage their burnout, even just for a little bit. Yung ganun. Maybe we could find some ideas there na as a strength din ng company ninyo or ng organization ninyo. So, that is just like my answer to that question po.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. Another question we have from Ms. Mary Joy Ubengayan. Mostly kasi, hindi pala question, manifestation. Mostly kasi kapag mas stress sa mga tao, mas madali silang i-manipulate. Any comment, ma'am?
I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. But maybe yeah, because emotions are high. But of course, like, there are some din naman na they still have their cognitive functioning. So I don't know the
Yes.
context of this, so like I don't have a definite answer.
All right, thank you so much, ma'am. We have from Miss Margaret Balucas. As a graduating psych student going to HR, how can we open solutions to others and to oneself if ever we work in a distressful burnout workplace as a newbie?
Mm-mm. Okay, no, so that is also a good question, no? So how can we open solutions to others and to oneself? So, of course, you can start with asking those questions na sinabi ko nga na, okay, what's been good or what's been better? No, like parang panimula lang to start your day when you're greeting your colleagues, pag kamusta. So instead of the generic na, okay, kamusta ka? And then you don't know, like, if they say okay lang, so what's okay, di ba? Like, dami pang further question. But start the day with being positive, no? Na, okay, so what's in the past day na last tayo nagkita, okay, what's been better, di ba? So, at least it sets the day na open, na hindi defensive, no? So, you could start asking that questions to your colleagues, no?
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. We also have a question from Miss Maribel Salone Dalapo. Can you cite an example of activity, ma'am? I think Miss Dalapo is referring to the workplace, an activity to the workplace that is not costly but is engaging to everyone to do po. Go ahead, ma'am.
So, yung naiisip ko usually is like during the lunch break, 'di ba? Or mga ganun, mga kapihan moments lang, no? So, of course, kumbaga, that's a way you could gather information, like, as to what activity you could do na hindi costly, no, but engaging. Kumbaga, ano ba yung usual na ginagawa ng mga workers nyo in their routine? Maybe you can find something there that na parang kahit in a small way could engage them. So like yung example na yung kapihan, everyone loves coffee. So maybe you could do an activity relating to coffee. So ganun po.
Yes, I agree with you, ma'am. Sino bang walang gusto magkape, no? Kahit nga mainit yung panahon, gustong magkape.
Yeah, like, she knows her organization best. So maybe she could find something there. Yeah.
Yes. No, so it doesn't have to be not costly, no? it doesn't have to be very technical, or it doesn't have to be very difficult in terms of the instructions, but just to give a platform, no? Kahit yung simpleng, kasi what happens in a kapihan session is the kumustahan, right, ma'am, no? I think that's a good thing. That's a good practice inside the company, because we give a platform to someone, no? Pero ang nagiging risk lang, for me, ma'am, naging risk lang ng ganyan kung hindi talaga yung kagrupo mo or yung ano mo, no, is parang hindi trusted, no?
Yeah. So that's why
Oh.
that's the importance of setting the rules kumbaga ng sa facilitator din mismo yung giving house rules na of course like whatever they share is they should only remain here, no? So maybe they could start muna sa team nila na trusted nila, then maybe expand. Unti-unti.
Yeah.
Yun nga, it doesn't have to be na bonggang-bongga, no? So start small lang talaga.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am, no? So sabi ni Miss Maria Teresa Lee, duly noted po. Thank you, Miss Erla. Now I have a question from Sir Christian. What small micro habits can we introduce into our daily team routines next week, no, that would immediately signal a shift toward a more sustainable work environment? I think in terms of burnout, mental health in the workplace. Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so small micro habits could be like, of course, like yung parang 5-minute pause muna, like pagkain, like before going to check your emails, have themselves like breathing exercises muna bago mag check ng emails, no? So that it depends really. It depends on like what works with your organization, no? You could gather data by asking them like, okay, ano yung ginagawa nyo? Para that helps you na sustain yourself, no, sa work, to help you na engage up until the end of the day. So maybe through gathering information sa workplace ninyo, or maybe you can find the micro habit that works. But yun lang yung example ko, yung mga breathing exercises muna before mag check ng emails, no, ganon. Yeah.
All right, no? So we can start with that, Sir Christian, no? Breathing exercises or a simple 5-minute pause before doing anything at the workplace or at the middle of no? Or you can stand kung isang linya lang yung mga chairs ninyo, you can stand together, no? And then galaw-galaw, no? Or you can mag-zumba kayo na yung mga small actions lang, hindi naman yung OA, no, na pwede lang gawin na nakaupo or nakatayo, na simpleng actions lang, no? I think I would have to agree, no, with Miss Erla, kasi yung mga simple na bagay na ginagawa natin together, no, in the workplace, yun yung mga sometimes nagmamatter talaga, no? All right. We have another question from I think Miss Nina Isabel Dingson. Knows you, ma'am. No, hi, ma'am. Advice sana. Asking for a friend in a company where one of the higher ups does not believe in mental health, said by an employee, and has a very rigid belief, I think, no, in motivation, and does not believe in burnout and stuff. But the pay is decent daw. Should my friend accept the job offer? Thank you. Go ahead, ma'am.
That is a very life-changing question, no? So
Yes,
maybe
because
you could, kasi work yan eh. So like I don't know your friend. Like your friend is the expert. Like you could ask they could ask your friend like when she accepts this job offer, like what would be different for her, like they could evaluate what's the pros and cons, no? So of course, like yun nga, like I said, like hindi lahat ng workplace aware sa mental health, like maybe it's a generation thing din, no? But it's still up to your friend, kumbaga. I cannot really give a life-changing advice, kumbaga. Kasi work yan.
Yeah. So what I think what Mama Erla is saying is that ikaw din yung gagawa ng action, no? All we can give is to explain, no, or perhaps give what possible options or consequences, no? Kung tatanggapin mo yun, possibly, you have to really work out accepting the fact that your boss that do have this set of beliefs, no,
Mm.
against mental health, the importance of mental health. But if you will not, siguro yung consequences then is you will not get that job and decent pa naman yung job. No? So
Mhm.
the options are there. The consequences are there. No? So all we can do is to emphasize them and it's up to you. I think yun yung ano ma'am. Tama ba yung ano ko ma'am? Pick up ko
Yeah,
ma'am?
in a way. Yeah, and in a way, we cannot control din naman yung mga bosses natin, but we can control always our actions or how we react to them. So yeah, it still depends on like what are your career goals. No, you could ask your friend like ano ba yung career goals mo like
Mhm.
when accepting. Suppose that you accept this job, will that go like add to your career goals ba something like that. So yeah, it's really more on letting her or him evaluate kung ano yung pros and cons talaga because it's a life changing na decision, so I cannot give an advice to that.
Yes. Tama, I agree with you ma'am, no? Kahit nga sa principles ng counseling, bawal talaga magbigay ng advice ma'am, no? We just
Yeah.
present with them with the options. Kung ano yung kasi it's still up to them kung ano yung gagawin. Kasi useless magbigay tayo ng advice at saka bawal pa nga, 'di ba? And then hindi din naman susundin. So it's up to you, na?
Yeah. They know themselves.
May emphasis si Miss Adele Aida dyan, ma'am, no? It is normal that we are under stress, but knowing your purpose in the company is very essential. Sabi niya, let us always go back to our why.
Yeah.
Alright. Ma'am, may tanong si Miss Francine. No? I think this will be our last question. Sabi niya, hello po, how about naman po if yung mga organization or companies po na ibang work culture and hindi po madaling mag-accept sa solution-focused approach, what are the possible ways na we can introduce this method to them? Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, so like I said po, like it could start small, no? So hindi kailangan na mag-propose kaagad tayo sa president, no? Start with your team, no? Start with your team. Like you could do like yung sa solution focused approach, like you could start with of course the scaling questions, like for example 10 is the gusto nating outcome, 0 yung opposite niya. San na yung ano natin, yung organization natin or yung team natin, no? So yung solution focused approach kasi like hindi minsan parang nasasabi natin na ay ginagamit na pala natin siya, like for example yung scaling questions, yung exception questions, no, like exception questions is like yung ano na ba yung nasa past natin na was effective, 'di ba? Like those are like conversations that we say already in the workplace, no? But it's really more on being aware na solution focused pala to, hindi pala to problem focused or problem solving. So I think that's the difference siguro na now that you're aware na of the solution focused approach. So yun lang yung kagandahan kasi ng solution focus. It's very simple, no? It's very simple, but kumbaga, but sometimes it's hard to execute because it's on the way we question things, no? The way we say or present the questions, no? But it's unti-unti lang, no? It doesn't have to be na big yung impact. Kahit sa team mo lang, yun nga yung ina-emphasize ko lagi. Kahit sa team mo lang, kahit 3 lang kayo sa team, what would be different if sa 3 kayo ay wala kayong burnout, wala kayong stress, no? So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. No, that was Ma'am Erla Grace L. Agutaya, RSI, RPM, and CSFP, Certified Solution Focused Practitioner, ma'am, in Bisaya dialect. Daghan kayong salamat for your insights and recommendations and strategies that you have presented to this to your talk tonight, ma'am. And as much as we would like to cater to the questions being raised. All of the questions being raised by our active 62, 63, 68 participants tonight. Active participants, I believe, and I'm afraid that we don't have that much time. So, muli, maraming salamat po sa lahat. And before I let you go, ma'am, allow me to present this certificate of appreciation to you from, of course, the Star Labs Academy, powered by the Star Labs Research Consultancy Services. Allow me to read the citation, ma'am. The certificate of appreciation is given to Ms. Erla Grace L. Agotaya, RSI RPM CSFP, for being the resource person during the mental health training webinar entitled the Second Math Program National Mental Health Free Webinar Series. From burnout awareness to sustainable mental health solutions in organizations, a solution-focused approach and application. Conducted on June 4, 2026 via Facebook Live with a total of 1 hour and 30 minutes training credits. Ma'am, maraming salamat po. And can we have a very short departing message from you to our participants for tonight? Go ahead, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you so much for coming to our webinar. No, so like again, I emphasize that in solution focus, no, so yung small actions natin, it does matter, and of course, like we can really change yung organization natin one step at a time. So we cannot control yung overall systems natin, no, but what we can control is like ourselves, and of course, if you're a leader, your team. So start small. So and also don't be afraid na kumbaga when noticing yung outcome, sabihin mo pa na I don't know, don't be afraid to say na you don't know, because it's our brain telling us na maybe it tries to rewire, kumbaga, na okay, like ano pa yung possible or outcomes na possibilities. So yun po.
All right. Maraming salamat, ma'am, for your time. And you may now leave from our studio. Thank you so much, ma'am. And magandang gabi po sa inyong participation and pagpapa-unlock, of course, no, to become our volunteer dito sa math program batch 2. Bye-bye, ma'am. And to our participants, I would like to invite you to our 3 remaining sessions for this math program. I would like to invite you all for this 6th session that will happen on June 11, which will be delivered to us by Dr. Maridel Z. Viernes of I think si ma'am ay mula din sa kalimutan ko. I'm sorry, no? But Dr. Maridel is a registered nurse, no? She will be discussing the local government units and mental health, roles, functions, and community-based interventions. On June 18, understanding suicide, risk factors, warning signs, and evidence-based prevention strategies, which will be discussed by our registered psychometrician, Sir Amante C. of Yana Jr. And for our last session for this mental health free webinar series, which will be held, no, the culminating session on June 25, which will discuss psycho-spiritual approaches to mental health support by Sister Angelita B. Chavez on that's June 25. And of course, I would like to ask everybody who are interested that we are currently, or we just opened the registrations for the 3rd math program, the math program batch 3. No, if you want to become a volunteer of Star Labs, who would also like to become a resource person, no? So we have here junior volunteers for the students, and we also have here senior volunteers who are professionals, no, who would become our resource person. The junior volunteers will become technical facilitators of the webinar, and The senior volunteers will become our resource persons and also will become advocates of mental health in their localities. Now, with the guidance of Star Labs, we hope to empower your community through you as representatives of the mental health advocacy volunteer program. So once again, thank you for joining this fifth session, and thank you. And see you in the 6th session on June 11. God bless and magandang gabi sa lahat.